All right, I think we are good to get started. So welcome everybody and thank you for joining ARIVE Connect. This is our monthly Zoom meeting with all users, people who are looking to use ARIVE, and we're here to just answer your questions. Whether you are already using the platform, you have questions, or you're thinking about joining. We have two wonderful hosts with us today, but before we introduce them, I'm going to kick it off to our CEO, Harish, and he is going to introduce them a little bit.
Thanks, Brianna, and welcome everyone on a happy Friday afternoon. I'm joining here from Silicon Valley, so this is the most exciting part of ARIVE, being in the community, working with all of you, getting all your feedback, inviting some of our brokers to talk about their experiences. So again, we are fortunate to have two of our esteemed colleagues, Enrique and Jessica. You can see them next to our videos on top. So I'm going to let Enrique and Jessica introduce their companies. Before I hand over, the only thing I do want to mention, I'll start with Enrique first. You know, I connected with him, I believe sometime last year. Enrique, you were on KLX, you were kind of thinking about moving over to ARIVE. You liked the platform, and you know, even at that time, we kind of connected so well. He gave me some great feedback. And after March, where the big push came in, he actually took the plunge. And I'll let him talk about how, you know, he has a large team, how he moved all those over, his learnings, and how he did that. But he has been great at giving feedback. You know, he's willing to take time to explain what kind of features he would like to see in ARIVE for his benefit or for everyone else's benefit. So again, it's very organic. We love being with our broker customers, listening to your feedback. And next to Jessica, I think Jessica also probably moved pretty recently when this whole KLX debacle came in, and she has been amazing. She has given us so much feedback about, you know, how she runs her business, you know, her internal process management, workflow management. So all that great feedback, hopefully we'll be able to put some of that in ARIVE so it becomes easier for all of you. But again, I want to thank both Enrique, Jessica, both of you for taking your time and sharing your knowledge with the community. So Enrique, do you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here. Enrique, I'm in Southern California. I'm actually in the Coachella Valley, which is right now the hottest place in the United States. Although today I'm actually on the coast, but back home is pretty hot. And, you know, this is my 15 years as an independent mortgage broker. And out of all those 15 years, 14.7 of those years I was with Calyx Point. And, you know, we always make the excuses. I was very unhappy, but that really didn't have an alternative. So back at the very beginning, when ARIVE came on board, I was one of the very first people to sign up. But, you know, we know that we had some growing pains and there was a lot of different things. And I decided not to make the jump, but I kept the seat open. As things got hairier and hairier with Calyx Point, they made the decision for me that I needed to really make a change. We know that a lot of you came on board at the same time. A lot of you are probably thinking, I'm still on the fence, right? I think my biggest challenge was the transition. How is this transition going to be? I have 6 loan officers. I have 2 contract processing companies in 3 different parts of the United States. And of course, we all think we're very unique and it's not going to work for me. I did not have a choice. Over a weekend, I made the transition. At the very, very, very next day, when I realized Calyx is not going to come through with his new 1003, so I made the jump really quick and it was seamless. Within 24, 48 hours, we were really up and running. And it has been a phenomenal experience for us. We are more productive than we've ever been. We were able to eliminate a lot of different programs and we're just happy to be part of ARIVE. And, you know, obviously today we're going to talk about some of those things and hopefully answer some of the questions of how we are handling it with our contract processing, with staff in different parts of the country and so on. So hopefully we can bring some light and encouragement to others that maybe are trying to decide whether they're going to make the jump or not, or maybe answer questions from people that are already using it, but are still sort of learning their way around.
Yeah, thank you so much, Enrique. That's a really, you know, great story. And so Jessica, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I'm Jessica Wells. I own Clear Choice Mortgage out here in Washington State. And I have a team of 9 people that work in the system with me. I've been in the business since 2004 and became a mortgage broker in 2012. Same pretty similar story. We were on Calyx Point and had used it since 2004 and just kept using it because it's what it was there. And then March 1st rolled around and they didn't have that 1003 update that we needed. And so I made the decision March 1st to just get everybody onboarded. And we were within, by the end of the next, maybe 2 days, it took us to get everybody onboarded and everything moved over. We closed out the last of our apps in Calyx and now everything's in ARIVE. It was a smooth transaction. ARIVE is such an intuitive, easy flow through process that even in all of my loan officers picked it up very easy. Everybody sends me emails all the time. Hey, I love this system. It's so much easier. It's so much better. It's just, it knows what you're trying to do and it thinks for you sometimes and just asks the right questions, which makes it a lot easier when you're filling out applications and whatnot. It makes the file flow much easier than flipping back and forth and trying to find it and point where that screen or that hidden thing is. It's not so difficult anymore. So from a processing background, I processed for 8 years, actually 11 years total. And now I have 2 processors and a team of 7 other loan officers that work with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for making that introduction. And I just want to let everybody know who is on the call that if you have any questions, you can either unmute yourself and verbally ask the questions, or you can utilize the chat feature and I will communicate the questions for you.
I just had a quick question about putting a link on my website on the My Account spots. Is there a way I can set it up so that when someone clicks the My Account, they can just log in, as in a borrower, and they could just complete an application? Or will I always have to generate an application or a new lead and send it to them? Or again, is there a way they can just click create account, log in and complete it?
So Jessica, you want to take that? Go. So.
Yeah, if you, there is an option where you can just copy your link. For each loan officer has their own link. You can do their company link or a loan officer link, and it's like a static link that it'll take them to a register page. And when they register their email address, it starts a new application for them. So it is a static link. You don't have to go generate an application for each person. You should be able to find that in your, in the right-hand corner under your name. There's a little borrower link there.
That's what I could. Okay, I knew it had to. I knew it existed. I just still can't find it. I'll look again here in a bit. But you said it's under where?
On the right-hand side where your picture and stuff is, there's a, you can click on that and there's an option to click. It says borrower link and there's a little copy it, clipboard to copy it right next to it.
Right on. Thanks so much.
Hey, Brianna, that's something we could probably show real quick on the screen if you wanted to either share or have me share or something similar.
Yeah, we can. That's a good idea, Scott. Thanks for giving that idea. So one other thing this comes up, we are building up a lot of support library and quick videos. Hopefully someday they will go live. We're just trying to figure out how to, publish them to our customers without. It is confidential information. We don't want to leave it out on YouTube or Vimeo. So I think that's kind of something either we'll buy a hosting service like Loom or something. But it's a great question. We have so many such simple questions on fees and managing different aspects on the licenses and where people get stuck. But to your point, Scott, I think I'm sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. So this is a test system. So Philip, the question you asked, what he was saying. So one is it'll appear right here. So you can copy this link. If you see this borrower portal, this is your consumer POS. If you click this, it'll take you there. This is your specific link. If the loan is taken from this link, it'll come directly in your pipeline. And if you are a company administrator, you can actually look at links of every other loan officer in your company. So in the users view where it shows up, so there should be a way to easily grab. Yeah, this is your. So every loan officer gets their own link. Only loan officers get their links, not processors. So. Hopefully that does. Yep. So I'm going to stop sharing. I think this is a great question. And I guess maybe Brianna, we should keep this first at a high level on experiences and learnings, and then we can get into the more details. But great question, Philip. So.
I have a question. This is Holly Gusslin. Hi. I'm coming from mortgage banking. I just started brokering again after many, many years banking. They use Encompass. When I export a prior client's file, it always goes to Fannie Mae 3.2. It can't do anything else because the application was before March, right? But you guys have said that you're going to disable the ability to import 3.2. Please, dear God, don't do that.
I'll give you some interesting analogy. Every other lender, by the way, has disabled that, just to kind of keep it on record. So we have two platforms running right now. One which is supporting the 3.2 format. It's a totally different, application definition, fields, and so it's a different system. And then we have another system, which is new Erla, which is kind of what we encourage everybody to use. So it's a lot of effort for us to maintain these two platforms. We are a 55 employee company. We are not very big. And we have like 900 plus companies who have signed up over the last few months. So the short answer is we'll try our level best to keep this live as long as we can. But there'll be a point when we say, you can bring your files in, but we'll upgrade them to 3.4 automatically. You know what I'm saying? So that's what every lender is doing today.
Oh, well, that's fine. I'm perfectly happy to do that. I thought that's what it was doing anyway. I thought you were going to disable my ability to import the 3.2 at all.
Yeah, no, we'll keep that for we'll remove that message. We'll massage that message.
Thank you.
Yeah, most of our brokers have 10, 15 years of old loans, and someone wants to refi. What do you do? So
right.
So it's a great question. I think we'll change that message. I'll take that. I'll make a note of that.
And I think this is something that was mentioned last time about our ability to import and bring files. The reality is that I have years and years and years and years of files on Calyx that I have no desire to bring into ARIVE because they're going to stay where they're at. So for me, is it worth for me to pay the one seat that I have left with Calyx? And I'm going to bring those files individually as I need them when they are calling me for refinancing. The database is so large, we really don't want to put it into ARIVE at this point, or at least I haven't found a way to do that, unless we have a way to do it in bulk and eventually can be archived. But we're going to keep those probably there, and it's going to be a penance that I'm going to have to pay for the rest of my life for having done Calyx, right?
That's the same thing I'm doing.
$50 for the rest of my life, but hey,
yep. But we still have the ability to go back and grab those files and import them when you need them, and it just costs that little bit each month, rather than importing them to ARIVE right now.
So I have somebody.
Guys, I just saved my 3.2s in a folder when I'm planning to leave a company, which is what I'm doing. I just save them and keep them in case someday I need it.
Smart. So I have somebody asking, and they say, so at Nexa, they have some LOs that are using ARIVE, most are using Calyx, and that is the one that Nexa charges us each month for. And for LOs use other systems as well, but bottom line, for us to get paid, no matter what system we use, we must import the file into Point to get paid at the end of the day. So we have two choices really, just stick with Point or use ARIVE and upload at the end for payroll processing to Calyx. Any conversations or thought on that? Do we have any other Nexa users in here that are using ARIVE that want to chime in?
So are they just using Calyx then for their payroll has to be done through ARIVE, so they can't give them, or through Calyx, so they can't give them reports and whatnot. So that just must be a next situation.
Yeah, not too much to do with that.
It's a double entry situation. Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
I think at the end you can still export a file and then upload that, but I believe their payroll processes are tied to Calyx Point. So to get paid, your file must be in Calyx. I believe that's what is being asked. So it's not there to recreate the whole, but once the deal closes and everything is funded, they have to kind of upload that into the Calyx seat, if I heard that correctly. So
yeah.
In my opinion, though, it's still easier to process your loan through ARIVE if you're willing to do it that way. It's just one extra step on your part, but it's much smoother, in my opinion, to go through ARIVE for the whole process and then just upload at the end, if that were something in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Next is to sign up for Advantage Credit. It asks who my contact is, email and number is for ARIVE. What do I need to do?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So we have a good contact, Gordon Chin at Advantage Credit. They should not be asking. Maybe we'll educate them. So we have a good relationship with them. There is a special promotion. If you are with ARIVE, you'll get a $35 all-inclusive tri-merge with no secondary use fees. If anyone knows what I'm talking about. So
okay, that was me that asked that question. And yeah, I wasn't sure if I should just put I don't have an LOS
Like, cause I kept putting ARIVE and it's still, so should I just probably put in dummy information for that or?
Yeah, you can
don't know.
put
That's gonna
and
be the question.
does it kick you out? I mean, this relationship is very new, maybe a month old. So we can ask Gordon, like they can train their internal reps. So if somebody puts ARIVE, the contact information is defaulted. You don't have to ask them if that is possible. So but it's a good question. So
Wait, so I might have misunderstood. So right now I am being charged reissue fees for every single file. So you're saying that they're not doing that anymore?
if you call them, they will switch it off. You say I'm an ARIVE user.
I need to
It
call
is
them.
only for ARIVE. If
And
you're
then- But it's still the $31 for the UWM pricing and then 35 for everything else?
35. So they have two models. You can take the 31 package, but then you will pay the secondary use fees if the loan goes to a different lender.
Okay.
Or you can pay 35, then there are no secondary use fees, but everything else is similar to what UWM offers. So that's a choice. I mean, we tried to get them to 31. I think they said it is practically impossible to operate, at that margin. So we agreed on $35, which is only available to ARIVE customers. So.
Wonderful.
Brianna, can you possibly show us how to do a title and escrow form, order form through the system, how to set that up? I'm a new user, so I want to set that up for refinances.
Harish, you want to do that?
Maybe Jessica or Enrique, do you want to take that up? If you need help, I'll support. So.
Yeah, there's templates already set up in the file, which you can customize the emails of what the template, the body actually says, which I've gone through and made some changes to our templates, but it's set up in the file and it will, you can go and I don't have the screen open in front of me, but you just go into ARIVE and there's an order title button and it will bring it up. You put in who it's going to, as long as you've had all the escrow information already input, then it fills it out and sends out your template. And you can add, like on my template, I always have them send over their E&O, their wire instructions, their all those stuff that I need from them. I put that on my template. So that way it goes out to every time. I also changed the template so it includes the borrower's last name in the email. So that way I can track it better. So that way I know who I've sent them out on. But it's once you have a loan file set up, you can just click order title.
Like this guy for right now. Well, he's not.
Harish, do you have any kind of a
Yeah, we have a
tutorial?
video. Yes, we have a tutorial. I'm going to email that to you, Holly, after this. So
Okay, thank you.
It's super simple.
Yeah, it's super simple, but these are great questions. I think as someone who's new, does need these kinds of quick overviews. We also did a new video recording which Scott did. If you're not in our Facebook group, please join that. He took a lot of time and effort to, put all the details possible. So maybe I'll ask a question, Enrique, in terms of, capabilities. Do you miss anything big, or maybe Jessica, do you miss any specific feature in ARIVE today which you think can help you go to the next level, or you are satisfied? Are there lenders you would like to be added? Are there, features on the platform you really miss? I think we talked about all the good parts. So
Yeah.
One of the
so-
vendors, oh, go ahead.
Now, for me, the reality is I was using Calyx at a very small capacity. For whatever reason, it was one of those things where I started as 1 or 2 loans a month, years and years and years ago, and I learned the basics of Calyx, and that's where I'm stuck. I never explore anything further, and I just found it to be convoluted. My brain doesn't work really well with all of those screens, and I have a tendency to not want to deal with things when they look like that. So over years, we knew how to process loans, but we did everything basic. And one of the things that we have learned with ARIVE, especially with the processors that I have that are so amazing, is that it is already simple. Everything we need is already done. There's the things that we don't need are not there. There's a lot of things in Calyx that we don't need because I'm not a banker, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. So I heard someone say they run all their accounting out of Calyx. I couldn't even imagine that. Like, how do you run accounting out of Calyx? But they do. So for me, ARIVE has been easy because what I need is there, and what I don't need is not there. And when we need something, we tell you guys and you guys add it. It's kind of like really interesting. I'm a big fan, obviously, but obviously adding more lenders would be great. Right now, I'm having to price things manually outside of ARIVE. And I was actually talking to a couple of my AEs and telling them, it's like, you're missing opportunities because we want the shortest route. So sometimes I price and I go, okay, well, I have PRMG, I have UWM, I have Home Point, you know, and I'll just pick one of those and I send the loan there, because now you're asking me to log out, go into their website, price the loan in their website. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. The rate's going to be probably very similar. I'm just going to take the path of least resistance. And obviously Home Point and PRMG, and they're priced really, really well. So we love those banks. But I bet you that other lenders would love to be a part of that. I just don't know if we can get them in there or not. I know I'm working on Stearns a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I would like to give a shout out to Enrique. Thank you for Stearns. After probably you called someone, they've gotten very active. So a lot of emails got exchanged with their. So we appreciate you reaching out, and I think they have to dedicate some resources from their side and with their current situation of being acquired. So I think that's. But the good thing is he called someone, and after that there's a lot of momentum. So my request to all the brokers who are on, if you find a lender which is missing, which you really send business to, you know, you should be sending business to them. Please connect me with the account executive or anybody else you work with. So we have made it super simple for lenders to join. The process is completely different from the older platform. And especially most of the lenders we work are on Encompass, if you will. So no. So we have developed a lot of in-house technology by which getting them live takes about 10 weeks right now. It used to take, you know, 3-4 months. So again, if you know a lender who's willing to join the ARIVE platform, you guys are sending business to, we are happy to see if it will be a fit for them. So, but thank you,
Are you
Enrique,
guys
for
working
connecting.
with Remin at all?
What's that?
Are you working with Remin to get them on board? They're one of the ones that
answer is yes.
You know what? Yeah, I actually, I ran into Sandra, my AE.
She's my AE too.
Yeah, well, okay. So she was at the Irvine thing and I told her to go talk to Harish, and she's like, yeah, I'll go talk to him. I want to be on that page. And I said, you're missing business, because if I'm not pricing on ARIVE and you're not there, you're probably not going to get the loan. So.
Exactly. No, that's what I just told her the other day too, because I used to send her a bunch of business, but now I don't want to go out to her website to price things. And so she doesn't get as much as she used to. It's as plain as that.
I know, we appreciate Jessica. I think so. Yes. So Remen has been a good partner. I think a lot of brokers have, or at least they have talked quite a bit, and they're super excited and they want to join. So again, we're kind of waiting for them to take the plunge. But I think overall, we have an agreement on the effort and the scope. So it's a matter of, you know, their management. They're owned by Homebridge now, so getting comfortable. But you know, we talked to Carl quite a bit, so he's a great guy. So
I'll keep harassing them.
Yeah, keep yeah, just politely, you know. So
yeah, nicely, of course.
Nicely.
Yeah. So we've got.
Go ahead.
I'll say we have some questions coming through, but I've also seen some people raising their hands. So if anybody wants to jump in with a question, go ahead and do so.
Can I ask a quick question? This is Yvette Walker. I wanted to know, after the close, when we get paid by the lender, when we receive a wire, do you have a place where we can keep copies and references of that for compliance issues, or wire or check?
Like
you
recording
upload the wire in the
income?
document center. Go ahead. Sorry. So
yeah, as just recording the income. Do you know how to do that? When you get the check in, you can record the income, and then you can just upload a copy of the wire or the check straight into the document center. Is that what you're talking about?
But a wire though, like
Yeah.
if it's the actual wire.
Yeah,
Like, since
so-
it's not a check, like just.
Yeah, so if it's a wire, I'm a brand new, I just opened it this month, so I haven't gone through the process of getting paid from a lender yet as a broker. So when you get a wire, is there like a record of that where you can like upload into ARIVE to keep a?
So
Copy of that?
when you get your closing, when I get my wire, I had a loan fund today. So when you go to the loan center on the main screen, there's the compensation in the top right-hand corner, and you can click on that, and you can say how much you received that was paid by the borrower, and then what it says check date received, but that's just a wire date that you received it. And then if you want to upload a wire confirmation or something for your bank account, you can put that into the document center to document that you received the wire.
Can someone show it to us on the share screen really quick?
Yeah,
Jessica, do you have it handy? So otherwise,
I only have live borrower files. I don't want to.
So let me share. So, and these are great questions. If this works, I'm going to use the same test loan. This is an actual test file. Alice first timer, as we call it, from Fannie Mae. So. So this is what she's talking about. When you get a check, this is the wire date or the check date. So how much you paid by whom. So we added a few other options because of non-QM pressure we get. And then, pass-through fees, if any, like credit pull, all that. So you can record it here. You can also go here and put it in. So we added this because when people are doing MCR, that's when they try to log all this. So we don't have a wire reference number you can put in, but as what most users do is they'll go to this document center. This is a tab on the left. You can upload a wire confirmation or check copy over here. That should take care of.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that I got out of what she was asking, is that here you can upload a copy of the appraisal. You can upload any post-closing documents that you want, anything that you need to have in order to be in compliance, and then archive the file, and then all that stuff stays in that file for future reference.
Yep. So maybe Enrique, it's this whole archive thing. We're going to fix it in a very upcoming release, because archiving will exclude this from the call reports. Do you know what I'm saying? So you should probably not archive the closed file, because you want to calculate those numbers when they go out. So
right.
But it is a little kind of off, because archive has a different meaning for everyone. So we are going to come up with a new, pipeline management before I would say end of September. I would say that's a plan which will give you more control on. I have a prospect, he's no longer wanting to work with me. How do I hide him? I think this feedback you also gave some time back, like how do I get him out of sight and not bog down my pipeline view? So that's what we are working on at a top priority, to give you better control on pipeline. And after that, there'll be this task management towards the end of the year. So
with that pipeline management, are you guys looking into the ability to, once files go to processing, to lock it so like loan officers have a read-only view of it? Or is that something
that will be like an option? So we will let you control, like some brokerages processor is the loan officer, if you will. So yes, it's a good question. When the loan goes to, especially if you're working with contract processors, it's a hassle. The other thing which should ship in a few weeks is, if somebody else is in your file, how do you know? Let's say somebody else is updating the file. So it will show you a message on top that there is somebody else in the file, before you save, make sure you know what's going on, especially with all this, everybody working remote and files going to everybody else. It's not in the common space. That's a pretty big feature people have requested. Like, how do I know somebody else is in the file making edits? So we will show you a message on top. There are other people in the file looking at it right now. But yes, I think that is a fair ask. Like once the file is with the processing group, you don't want loan officer to make changes. And we are going to give this as it'll be a switch. So you as a company admin can turn that switch on with pipeline management, like files in processing. I think the jury is still out. Instead of disabling it, we'll give maybe some warning. We don't want to totally disable it. You know what I'm saying? Because what if you really want to make a change and send a quote out? So.
The other question I have for you, Harish, is there the ability right now we can just export and import? Like I have investors that I work with all the time that do 4 or 5 loans. Particularly right now, I have one that has 13 properties that he works with, and I've got the file all set up with all the income for each property perfect. But when I export a 3.4 and re-import it, I have to redo all those calculations because it doesn't save some stuff. Is the ability to be able to copy a file like that going to be something that we can do in the future? Or is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, so copy is a very expensive process, especially for these complex cases. But if you have a specific loan number, I think we implemented a full export. The whole idea of full export was to export.
And when I did the full export, it tells me no primary borrower every time I've done it. I tried that the other day.
That full export was meant for disclosures. We are going to add a doc vendor pretty soon.
Okay.
But if you give me a specific example.
Like this.
So you're saying this does not export the borrower?
Yes. So when I did a full export and then I just I did full export and then I go new and re-import it again, it tells me no primary. I had to do it like 3 times. And then I finally just went back to the Fannie Mae DU 3.4 and uploaded it again. That way.
No worries. So those are good suggestions.
It's a glitch.
So it could be a glitch. These are complex cases, but to answer your question, yes, cloning or copying is something. It's a complex operation. We have to kind of take everything in the file and replicate. Loan is a very complex data structure, if you will. It has like hundreds and hundreds of tables behind it. So but yes, that's a good point. I think cloning something maybe before the year we'll try to attempt if we get time, given everything else pending. And
awesome, thank you.
We've got some.
Go ahead. On the
No, no,
screen
no.
that you're on right now, I just wanted to make sure where it says date tracking and then loan milestones. Obviously, if it's not a lender that is in the system, we would have to enter all of that manually, all those milestones.
Yes, even with some lenders in the system, you'll have to do it because they don't send a status back. Only PRMG, Caliber, and Home Point are updating this automatically at this point. So,
Oh, okay. So even so, if it's not through those three, I'll have to go in manually to update all of these things.
yes, and
Okay.
as I said, so the way we are thinking of next step is the task management system will automatically create next task, and when you check those tasks, it will set the dates. Hopefully, that would make it a little more. So there'll be a list of things to be done, and when you do those things, it will set these dates. So hopefully that will solve some of these issues of lenders sending wrong information, incorrect information. So if you will, so.
Okay. And is there a way to delete an app? I did a test one on there, and is there a way to delete it?
Yeah, that's
No.
the archive thing we talked about. So you can archive an app that will take it out of the queue.
Okay.
You will not see it. So.
Okay, perfect. I think that's all I have.
Wonderful. We've got some questions flowing in. Someone had asked, sorry, I just lost it. What are ways that you can integrate lead pops?
You can integrate lead pops. I can tell you what one of our customers is doing, who I was talking to yesterday. So they're a big customer in Arizona, Lund Mortgage. They just came over, say same story, KLX, all that, so well to Enrique and Jessica. So they are connecting lead pops to their CRM, and they are manually exporting I believe a 3.2 file or a 3.4 file and importing, which is not ideal. So there will be something, again, given everything else going on with ARIVE right now. So at this point, this year, it's not going to happen. We don't have bandwidth to support lead pops integration this year, but probably early next year, I would say. And the other thing we have gotten big requests is there is a bulk lead import. So I'm not sure if lead pops, you can export all these leads bulk and put them in a CSV format. That's another option available. If anyone, I'm not seen lead pops myself as a software. So, but if there's a way you can export all the leads out in a spreadsheet or a CSV form and then take them back in, that's another option. So there is a lead import which we can support because leads are simple. It only has few hundred fields. So
Awesome. All right, next question. Is there an open API?
Is there an open API? That's a very strong question based on open and what data is in that API. So I think this has come up, I would say this is the number 2 question after this whole pipeline management, which is the number 1 ask, like how do we connect this to our CRMs, and is there any API or will that be an API? So we are doing some pilots. The results are not very encouraging, frankly, with some customers whom we tried to connect the system to because of the complexity of data, the fields they are asking, and can we send those fields? So our current strategy at least is give you exports with all the data, maybe make them configurable, which you can take it to your CRM systems. And then there are some lightweight CRM features, as you all know, we are trying to put them in ARIVE, like task management, milestone management, pipeline management. Some telling you which borrowers you can contact because there is an anniversary or a birthday. So the only thing we will not do is build a consumer direct campaign. So if any one of you is a consumer direct lender, you have a lot of online business, probably will not be running those kinds of campaigns in ARIVE anytime soon. But we are trying to add as many simple functions to track dates and emails and templates and milestones and improving them from a feature capability. You can call it mini CRM, lightweight CRM, but yes, what customers are doing is using manual export import, and I foresee, given everything else on our plate for next 6 months. And we did a pilot of API, which didn't go very well with one because we had to do a single sign-on and connect it. So it'll be probably early next year. And one idea could be we can work with these CRM companies. There are only 5-6 of them out there. Whiteboard, Be in Touch, Surefire. I think Enrique, you use Big Purple Dot and try to figure out how to connect them directly or make it open with limited fields. Which you can connect to these systems. But that is something we are actively investigating and researching right now. How do we allow programmatic exchange of data to third-party systems from ARIVE? But in the meantime, at least the export, if you know what I'm talking about, let me show you. Am I sharing my screen, Brianna, or I close this?
No, not yet.
Okay, sounds good. So when I say export, so we get a lot of feedback from our user base. So there is call reports, which you send to your consumer NMLS based on the states. This is call report. So this is tracking the call reports activity, but we have pipeline reports. So we're going to invest more time and energy onto making this more simple, convenient, having different types of reports you can export. You can create a homeboard report or a CRM report. Right now it's a little, but the number of fields that go out, we have added a lot of fields. People can use this for their payroll. We have added sources and who the processor was, and I'm not sure if it is live yet or not, but that's our strategy. Give exports out so you can update your CRM systems or payroll systems or third-party systems with ARIVE data, if that makes sense. And we'll be putting more time and energy into, like, you can export out all loans which have closed with the rates more than 4%, because you can go after refi. So that's something we can do by this year, like giving you more control on export reports. That gives you all the data you need, and then you can take that to any system that you use for your business, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was a long answer, but yeah, developing APIs has been a pretty big challenge for us, given the volume. We are doing like 40,000-50,000 loans a month from ARIVE, from a few thousand early this year. So
All right, great. Let me get back to up a little bit. Let's see. Does the pricer in ARIVE build in the broker's LPC, or is pricing provided based on borrower paid comp?
So I'll let Enrique or Jessica
Yeah,
chime in.
so yeah, in this case, ARIVE is intuitive to know what your compensation plan is with each bank, and it builds it that way. In fact, the default is that is lender paid with no underwriting fee built into it. You have to go in and manually change that. But yes, so you never have to worry about calculating your comp. If you are already approved with a certain bank, it automatically does that. In fact, we changed our compensation recently, and immediately all the banks that we do business with were adjusted in ARIVE as well.
Great. Can we soft pull through ARIVE for Advantage credit?
So not so can you, the answer is yes. Can you do it easily? The answer is no. That's a little not the answer you would like to hear. So you can change your account to a soft pull account and run soft pull. People do that all the time, like our users, and they call me how much they hate that. They have to change and change again. So
everything I do is a hard pull, right?
Hey, make sure you're muted, guys.
Someone was it, but that's the fun of community. So you can put your soft pull credentials here, and you can run soft pulls, but you have to change them back again to your actual tri-merge credentials, as we call it. So we are looking into this. Maybe before we close this year, you'll be able to set up, this is my soft pull account and this is my hard pull account. And as everyone knows, with soft pulls, you cannot run AUS. So that's the reason we want to do it maybe. So if you've done only soft pull, somehow we have to disable AUS, because agencies go crazy if you send them soft pull reference IDs.
Right. Harish, one of the things that we had requested also was the ability to be able to pull just one bureau.
Yes.
The agreement I have with my credit company, which is Credit Plus, is that I pull one, and then later if I decide to pull all three, they give me integrated pricing. So it saves me a lot of money, especially because I work with lots and lots and lots of entry-level buyers, that we just run one. We don't do the soft pull. What we do is we run only one bureau.
Yeah, no, I think that's
is that coming?
Yes. So 3 things are coming on the credit. One is soft pull support. One is bureau selector when pulling. And the third is collecting borrower's credit card as you are trying to pull credit. So again, most of you think of it as cost of doing business. You only pull credit, when you're pretty sure and that deal will close and you will recoup at the end. I mean, the deals you do will probably close, but we still have a lot of users asking, like, I want to charge my borrower just to have him committed. So those 3 things are coming. Like, you can put in their credit card when you're ordering credit, if you decide to do that. Second is soft pull, and the third is what you mentioned, Enrique, like selecting a specific bureau. With the soft pull and the bureau selector, we have to make sure AUS gets disabled, or we give you a message, upgrade to a try merge before running that. So. But yes, all these are very valid requirements as a part of LOS.
I'm sorry, if you run one credit, you will not run AUS. You cannot run AUS.
Yeah, I think Fannie Mae.
Correct. You cannot run AUS. You have to have a right credit report. You're going to get an error message.
Oh, okay.
And those error messages are not friendly. Our systems get so we need to know what happened. So I think the best thing Fannie Mae said is don't let them run it. That's their recommendation. So
right. Also, since we were talking about credit, somebody mentioned whether it was possible to overwrite the credit report versus importing a new one. You have the three options, but right now the problem is that the default is that if you have a customer where you already had credit there and you have to run it again for some reason, let's say you had a rescore or something, and you forget to get out of the default, it imports the liability and now you got everything double. So we were hoping that it's something I keep forgetting is to maybe make the default that it overwrites the previous liabilities. Otherwise we end up with double everything and we have to manually delete each one of them.
So Enrique, you should send the loan numbers. The default is merged. So what the system is trying to do is it's looking at the account numbers. Let's say you pull credit, whatever, and do it again. So the logic is so if the account number matches, it should not double. Only if the next pull gives a different account number. By default, it should not. If you see that happening, yeah, send it to support@arive.com.
I think is it possible that maybe I'm importing the file from Calyx and it has liabilities, and then this basically adds the liabilities on top of it? Yeah,
that could happen. So what the system is doing, if I show real quick, is it is looking at liabilities, and then it is going by the account number. So if the account number is the same, we are not going to create a new liability because we know it's the same account number from the same creditor, if you will. So it does a match before it makes a decision. It looks at the creditor as well, like same bank and same account number. So
I think it's because we're importing it from Calyx and it has already some liabilities.
I see.
And I have to switch it manually to override, and that way it deletes everything and puts everything new.
Yeah, so default we put merge. Again, if there is a lot of I mean this has come up a few times, I would say, then we can say override, if you will. So if it is, then it is going to forget about what you have and just override everything. So
And does don't merge not import any of the liabilities at all? I never used that one. What does don't merge do?
Don't merge. Yeah, I think it's going to just I think it should stack them. It will not worry. So it should duplicate.
That'll duplicate them in the don't merge.
I've also not I mean I test a lot, but
I never use that.
So
I've never used it either. I'm afraid of it.
So it should probably stack them. So it will duplicate the ones. If you say don't merge, it will just create a copy of everything coming from the bureau. So
I thought it didn't pull the liabilities at all. Like I thought it just ignored what was on the credit report. That's what I've been telling everyone.
It is saying don't merge. It is not saying don't pull. So but it's a good point.
That's what I saw in my testing. So maybe it was just my test account, but
yeah, no worries. Let me double check. So
yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
All right, we got lots of questions coming in. Next is there a way for the processor to run a report that shows all the loans if appraisal, title, HOI are in?
That'll be a part of our task management. So probably not right now. I mean, you can run a report, as I mentioned. Those reports will dump everything. It will have the dates of appraisal and HOI and title. I'm guessing. So but probably not an easy way to look at that from a processing standpoint. That's coming this year. So most of the users we have talked to use monday.com, if you have heard that software, or Jessica uses Trello to organize. I'm not sure, Enrique, if you use any other system like a spreadsheet or a. So I think that's coming. That's a high value item. Like processors can quickly look at which items they need to act on next and order, whatever they're supposed to order. So.
I have some people asking about how to use their CRM within the system. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I did. Maybe I'll do one more time. So
Okay.
So you can do a lead import from your CRM. You can export your leads and bring them in. And then if you want to take something back, you can create a report and export the CSV and take it back to your CRM. So what I was saying is we are looking at doing is create some more CRM friendly exports. So there could be a, HomeBot export or a Surefire export. That's something we are trying to see, because we can do that offline. We don't have to connect and sync and all that.
Why is a delete feature for files that are inactive or never completed app, prospect never followed through, not available, or is it considered as an option?
Maybe I missed that. Could you repeat the question? Maybe
Yep.
I'll stop.
It says, why is hold on, no, it's makes me lose the questions. Where did it go? Okay. It says, why is a delete feature for files that are inactive, borrower never paid, borrower never completed app, prospect never followed through, not available or considered as an option?
Maybe Jessica or Enrique, you can help me. So you can archive the files if you don't want to follow them, or so that you can adverse the files if something happened in the loan, like there's a actual list of things. Will ask you what happened. The guy changed their mind, he withdrew the app. Is that what? Am I getting this correct?
Yeah, Harish, this is Sam Serrato. I'm the one that asked the question. I mean, archiving and deleting are two different things. Archiving, you're still storing the file. I mean, if you want to totally delete a file, that ability is not there.
Correct.
I mean, you can do it in Point, you can do it in other software programs. Why can't you do it in ARIVE?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So right now, if you send an email to support, you cannot do it in the lender system, by the way. You have to work with their AEs. So there is a reason. But yes, I think we are looking into that. Like, we just added delete documents for those, because we got this huge pushback. There's a wrong document in the file. There's a privacy reasons. So we have started with, you can actually delete the documents, which will disconnect them from the file completely. But we are looking into a model by which these files go into a trash can, and after some time they get wiped out, like your Google Mail or something. So that's the model which we will go to. We'll not immediately get rid of the data, but maybe 4 or 5 months, 6 months go by, or 2 months go by.
Right.
But it's a great point. I think so. We don't want to immediately delete, because it happens today. People say, I have deleted my assets. Can you restore it?
Yeah, then you need it again. Right. I get that part.
I had a policy with Calyx where nobody was allowed to delete a loan, period, or anything. And the reason is because it is the information from the borrower. The last thing you want is someone calls 3 weeks later and I say, well, we don't have, what you do with it? They get nervous about what happened to my Social Security. So for us, I think Pipeline Manager is going to be great, because then we'll be able to manage that and either adverse it or archive it as a application incomplete, or however it is that we want to label it. I'm not big on deleting it, just because then its terminal is gone, and I'll be more concerned about deleting the wrong file than anything else. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, and I think
he's talking about deleting it and then keeping it in a deletion bucket for, say, 90 days or whatever, whatever they're going to consider doing, which I think is a good thing, because why do you need to store all these files for people that never even completed the application? I mean, apparently, they're not interested. So, I mean, that's my opinion of it. But
I market to everybody. I market to anybody that has ever given me
of course, but
that's the only reason you would want to keep it, to market.
Yeah, I just think it's a much more convenient feature to have.
Well, I run like my archive reports every single month, and then we still reach out back to those clients. So I would want that something that we could easily access. You know what I mean?
Well, the other point to that too is I just learned on the MCR reports when I pulled them from there that it was even app started on there. So I went and looked up the actual guidelines, and you're supposed to be reporting anybody that verbally asks you and you have any sort of information from them on your MCR reports. So if you have people that have put in an application and they never finished it, you're still supposed to do it as an incomplete, which
It
is
depends on the state.
Yeah, well, in
Right.
Washington, they're getting big on it. So
Yeah.
that is the case where you.
Michigan wants one thing, Louisiana wants something else, Pennsylvania wants something else. So we just, that's a pain, yes.
It's huge. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, but the point is, we're not talking about an immediate permanent deletion. You know, he could leave it in the system for 6 months or whatever, 120 days or whatever, people would like that to happen, but I still don't think that there's a need to keep all these, test files or this or that. I mean, there's a lot of different variables that would cause the reason for not keeping a file. So that's,
no, great point, Sam.
and
I
other
think-
people have, voiced that opinion, but the answer archiving is not deleting.
Sure, we'll definitely look into that, Sam. I think we appreciate, this is a great point, definitely on our to-do list. So thank you. So let's try to move on. Brianna, anything else you can spot?
George's got a question.
I have a question about comparing the file, comparing pricing. Okay. Can later on you guys can add in, can I share my screen really quick? Sorry, is when we compare the price, when we click compare, can you add in different purchase price or loan amount? Can I add in different loan amount? For example, if we're doing purchase, someone would like to compare between 10% and 20% down payment. So we have a different loan amount. So if we can add a different loan amount and even refinance, some people, they want to pay the fees, the closing costs on the top of it, or sometimes they want to compare different cash out. So we can compare different scenarios later on.
The other day that you can change the loan amount. You just can't change the purchase price. You can't change the purchase price.
So we added that, I think, last week. You should be able to change it now if you go back. So
okay.
So just to kind of complete your thought, George, this compare offer is, the whole idea was I have an offer from a different bank. So you are comparing apples to apples. If you're from the system in the before you were doing the selector, you went a little far ahead. So,
okay.
But you should be able to do what you're asking. I think the property
really?
price was but I think they opened that up, if I'm correct.
Did they open the property price too?
Yeah, so you should be able to. This compare offer was I have an apple to apple comparison. Go up, open. Yeah, you can hit compare, but you can open this up and then your scenario is only picking one. You may want to.
So I can change the pricing here.
Yeah,
and
you
then
can change
compare?
reprice and add. You should be able to do that. If not, we'll fix it. That's a fair ask. Comparing different cash out options, 10% down and FHA versus VA. And
oh wow, I didn't know that. Thank you, guys.
I just learned that too. You can change this all up here and reprice it again, and then you can show the different options across.
Yeah, I did see the little go down menu. So, okay. Thank you, guys.
I have a question. Harish, what is the ETA of us being able to make the pre-approval a little bit more colorful?
A little bit more colorful. If you give some, it's not kind of happening in the near term. If you can give us some examples, maybe I can try to see what exactly.
Like a good start would be like putting a border on the pre-approval. So I have had a lot of complaints from my agents. Like there's it's very hard to distinguish a pre-approval amongst the other, like the offer, etc.
Yeah, I think I can take that feedback and maybe we can let you edit the actual content with your own HTML, so you can put borders and colors and whatever. So right now it's a little restrictive if that's what you're asking. So I can try to see what is possible in a reasonable time where we can let you edit your approval letters. We're going to put a few more types, like Arizona has a very specific ask that's coming, I believe, next week, if I'm correct. And Texas also has a specific ask that's coming in a week or two. And there'll be a default one which we ship, because that letter is very, boring, but it has some specific questions like when was employment verified, was asset verified, was credit verified. So. But if you want to make your letter more like what better.com or other online lenders do, maybe we'll try to figure that out. So But good question. Great question. So,
Thank you.
so I have a question for maybe Jessica and Enrique. If you, what is your single most feature of ARIVE which you love the most? What is one feature you can tell us or tell the audience which has really helped your business be more productive, or anything you can let us know? What is one feature from the platform? So
my current favorite thing is the DULP on one screen. That is the most time-saving thing that has been put into the system, because from point, I used to run DU, I'd run LP. I always run both just to see if I get the results. But now you guys have made that screen there. It gives you your DU results. It gives you your LP. It tells you how many months of reserves, how many months of tax returns. It gives you all the pertinent information that you are going to go dig through those findings to find on one quick screen, and you can make a decision. And sometimes you're going to waiver on one and not on the other. And it's just, that's the biggest time saver for me right now.
Yeah, for me, it's more related to the paperwork. I used to have Flowify separate away from Calyx to collect paperwork. The ability to be able to get the needs list the moment they fill out the application is huge. Second, the ability for my processors who are in different locations to be able to request needs through the system and get those needs back eliminates from us having to write individual emails from different Gmail accounts or whatever. Like, everything is consistent, everything looks great, everything looks the same. And then of course, also having the ability to get the communication, the notes, where everybody is on the same place. So I start with putting notes when I talk to the borrower, when the application's done. My loan assistant puts more notes for the processor puts notes, and then we all get copied on those. So that to me saves me so much time. And of course, I was spending so much money on Flowify that we stopped that completely. The one thing that I've been bugging Harish about is having the ability to have SMS directly from the ARIVE system. My CRM allows me to do that, because one of the things that we are doing is we're communicating with text with borrowers a lot. Borrowers are wanting to text. They want to text. It's not like we're trying to shortcut the communication. That's how they communicate with their kids, with their spouses, with their bosses, with everybody. And for us to be able to send text messages from ARIVE and keep the consistency. So when I have the file, I text the borrower, my processor can take over and continue those conversations there. I think that's super important. Right now, we are unfortunately using personal cell phones to do that to a certain extent. So I know that we were trying to pick your brain about that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jessica. I think, yeah. So both of your, the things you mentioned, like one-click AUS, we developed that, and we are probably the only other LOS, if to my knowledge. I think lenders do it, like UWM is the pioneer, and maybe Caliber, and I'm not sure if any other lender supports that, but that took us a lot of time to figure out, and actually extracting the messages and bubbling them up and giving you in an easy to consume manner, like, which ones is waiving what. So we'll be enhancing that to do more reps and warrants for at least assets. Like, we'll automatically try to verify assets by later this year. That's something we are actively working with a partner in that. But Enrique, like you said, yes, texting is important. And this is where, whether we are a CRM or, the boundaries get dissipated, as we call it. Like, if we start texting from ARIVE, but it's a fair ask. Everybody's on their cell phones. People don't go to emails that often. So if we can somehow, figure out a way by which you can create a text for a loan officer or a cell phone for a loan team somehow, and that's what is used, which kind of everyone can access and see. It's not your personal cell phone. But that is something, as I said, it is not happening anytime like next few months, but that is something that definitely it'll add a lot of value to our community. Like, if we can figure out a way by which, a team can get a phone number or a text number where they can actually look at history, what was sent, what was received, what was communicated. That would be super, super exciting. I agree with that. So.
Great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a couple people talking about integration with Ring Central. Is there any way to integrate them now, or?
Yeah, I think this goes back to how much do you want to push. So we have a way by which you can click. It'll try to use the default phone. It'll use, I believe, FaceTime, if I'm right, if you're on a Mac or. So I think people have figured out a way. So if you click on the phone icon today, it'll try to open the audio dialer on your laptop. I believe you can configure it with Ring Central. So that way you can still connect Ring Central to ARIVE and give it the phone number, if you will. So, but search the Facebook group. Our community is, or post it in our Facebook group. Somebody will respond for sure within a few minutes. So.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we are at the end of the hour. If anybody has any additional questions, please ask them now. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Like I said earlier, we will be having this on the first Friday of every month, unless there's a holiday, of course. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to email support@arrive.com. One of our amazing support experts will help you. We also have ARIVE Mortgage Brokers on Facebook. That's a great group to gain insight from not only support experts, but also other users. So we are so happy that you joined us and you're part of our community. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out. And always the same time. Yes, Shane. So 4:00 p.m. Eastern. All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, Enrique. Bye.